There, am I back? So I think the problem is I just put a Windows update in, and it probably it probably put it on a different port, and of course OBS didn't see the port change. Probably was lost, so I had to reconnect it. So thanks for calling that out. So anyway, I'm trying to. I was checking out some of the new features here if I can. Alt spacebar. Calculates, access, previous, selected. Well, I thought there was a thing. It said Alt plus spacebar. Alt plus spacebar for 2 seconds. Oh. Hello? That's not it. That is not what I'm trying to start typing. What am I typing? What is this? Oh, maybe I don't have it yet. I probably don't have that feature yet, but it's supposed to be Alt plus spacebar. Um, I was trying to see if I can do a touch to talk to get Copilot up and running. 1, 2. What if I? Hello? Guess it doesn't work. I thought it was part of this update. There's supposedly an update coming that you can do a touch to talk or touch to speak or whatever that works with Copilot. And I was. It says hold this for 2 seconds. Yeah, it doesn't work yet. Okay, I don't have it yet. Or supposedly.
Hey, Kenneth. How's it going?
Good. Hey, well, who was the quarterback for the Broncos in 2009?
Kyle Orton was the quarterback for the Denver Broncos in 2009. He took over after being traded from the Chicago Bears.
Kyle Orton. Wow, I totally forgot he was even. I totally forgot he was even on the Broncos. Jeez. And to think, I've been working with 2009 data for the last year, and I never noticed who was the quarterback for the Broncos. And honestly, there's not a lot of players I can even remember. The only one that even comes to mind regularly for me for the Broncos was Champ Bailey, and I think it was Mitch Berger, maybe the kicker. So, and that's only because I just saw him a minute ago. But Champ Bailey is always the guy I think about back then. He's kind of like the player in my head from that time frame, because obviously he's probably one of the best players they had prior to getting Peyton Manning on the team and Von Miller. But anyway, so one of the things I did do is I put in the names. So now I have game names for all the players. So I can now go. Now I should be able to load them all up and get their game names. I've been working on trying to get this piece working. I haven't quite got it working yet, but we will continue to push away at that. That is my goal for this week, is to get that first page finally loading up, and we will see if I can do it. No, I didn't realize that was going away completely. Let's open this back up. I kind of want this to be locked on my taskbar here. Okay. All right. Let's start up my football tracker here. Oh, wrong one. Turning off the wrong thing. Let's try that. Come on. I know you want to start. Let's go. Man, what is going on? Or is that the right thing? Am I turning the right? Oh, nope. I did the wrong one again. I don't even know it. Let's try this one. There we go. I have too many things to say subscriber, blah, blah, blah on my OBS. All right, that should be good. Now I've got everything up and running. Let's see, I've got about, well, I'll give myself an hour, but I'd like to get it done in 35 minutes, at least to some extent of working. So what that means is I have this, I've got to get this kind of loading here. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to definitely be working with AI on this maneuver though. Oh, I know what I need to do. Let's do this real quick. Let's open up my YouTube stream updater and just get this updated so I don't have restream as my I don't even know what that is. But anyway, we'll go like this. It's Control Shift B. And that should get that started. Blah, 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 blah. All right, open that up. Go ahead and run this guy. And then what am I working on? I still don't really have. Let's go ahead and we'll put this in. Don't know how that's going to work, but it's blank, boring looking, but it's better than just nothing. So let's go edit. We'll remove the restream nonsense. And go over here. And I know this is all setup stuff. I know I kind of do this all the time. Get myself caught up in setup stuff. And we'll save that. And then we'll edit. Go down here. Go to my screenshots. Nope, that's not screenshots. Which one do I want to be? Which boring one do I want to load? Less than 2 megabytes. What? Let's put it up. Let's put it up here. Probably be bigger here. I didn't know there was a this file size limit on my on this app, to be honest. Two megabytes is the limit, huh? Is it still? Wait, what? Why is it having trouble with that? Great gurgly murgly, people. You think you could get... I gotta delete some of this crap. I got too much garbage going on here. Did it work? No, because that's not where it says. It said drag or drop. Apparently that didn't work. So we're going to click here and try again. We'll get here. We'll get here. Let's try it again. Hey, there we go. We'll take the ugly one with the black borders on it. All right, there you go. My thumbnail is now updated. You now can officially see my whole bunch of nothing. But, oops, you know what I should probably do? Just for this, let's save it. There, everything's good. All right, we're all good. All right, we can close that up and take this back off. Put it back down here. All right. Finally, I can actually do work. All right, so we're going to go over here to my announcements panel. This is what I'm trying to load. I've got this team captains thing, and it's actually team options. It's actually let's go at the team selection panel, because you're actually selecting your team, not really. The team captains are what you're getting, but this is actually a team selection panel. So we're going to rename that, and then we're going to have the team. I don't even know what that is. The team selection header. Team selection header. And then this is the scroll view that's going to have all the players on them. We're going to say teams scroll view. And I am going to continue with my strategy of going SV because, yeah, I know, so I can get used to my own acronym. If I don't call it the same everywhere, I will forget that I call it at all. What I called it at all. All right, so this is the viewport. This is where I'm storing. I'm going to output these guys. Let's go ahead and save my project. I do have an autosave thing I uploaded, but I like to be safe. All right, so we're going to have team name, team option. Here we go. So I was building this as my team panel. In the team panel, I need to place a player character, prefabbed, nope. Game card. Here we go. We got to put a game card in there. We will put that in there. And we're going to need to do 2 of them. That's actually supposed to be inside of there. And then we're going to go Control C. Put a second one in there. And this is going to be team captain 1. All right. Player 1. Game card. You know what? We're gonna go player 1 GC. And we will call this one player 2 GC. All right. So the GC is where we will what we will use in on here. Really what this is going to be made up. I got to decide what the dimensions of this are going to be. The panel, I'm not totally sure how it's going to look on there. I'm going to have to let's see, I got to hold on. All right, so in here, we're going to go ahead and reshape this. We'll move this one over here. We'll put this one right up. Why won't you move? I'm not doing you right. What the heck, man? Let me move him. Oh. All right, so we're going to move you there. Then we're going to select you. And why are you different? Why is that? Why does that look funny? Why is that not where it's supposed to be? So I need these, I think, are gonna have to be, do I want them to be fixed? See, it's gonna be tricky to have these be fixed in size, but if the cards, all right, I need them to hold their aspect ratio, which is one of the rules for these character cards, but they will have to shrink. But the question is, can I get them to be proportionally in the right space? That is going to be the question. So what I'm going to need to do is figure out what my dimensions are of my card here. So we're going to have to put in here, I need to have a text as well. We're going to say, I have no idea what this is going to look like until I actually start getting it to display a little bit, but we'll get it to load and we will figure that out. Do I need to add a rect transform to that, or do I just use this one? Huh. Seems really not the size I want. Why is that? Stop it. going to have to be very tight. I don't expect these to be very viewable, to be honest, because these are going to be very small. I just want the picture. Oh, come on. What is going on? Stop it. Why are you being a dumb butt? All right. If I go that one. Why are you doing that? Select that one. Select that. Why? Why does it keep pushing them back? Why is it? Oh, you're being annoying. Why are you doing that? Why are you being such? Oh my gosh, I can't get this to go right. Ah, stop it! Okay, there are some annoying things about, I will say that there are some seriously annoying things about Unity. Alright, so let's try something else. I'm going to add my rect percent here. Rect transform. We're going to do this. I'm going to try this guy. So we're going to move. We're going to select play this one, and then we're going to go from the top. We want from the right. We're going to say this is like really weird. I mean, this is like totally. Why? All right. From the left. These are like, it's like totally misbehaving. I don't know what it's doing. AI. It's not even AI. This is not even AI. This is just annoyingness. Why is it misbehaving? Why is it being like this? Trying to change the shape of the panel. All right, we're going to try something else. Let's try something else. We're going to just say, we're not going to change the root item. We're just going to change the panel. Going to see what's going on here. All right. The panel itself, I just want to change the shape of the panel. All right, let's, God, why are these, why can't I move these? What is going on? Do I need to, oh, maybe do I need to change like the aspect ratio or something weird about these? Let's turn this off. I don't know what that is, but we're removing that. I'll do the same thing with that one. Let this remove. Let's get everything in place before I start trying to get this crap in place. Besides, aspect ratio here shouldn't matter because I have the aspect ratio in the prefab. The player card itself has the aspect ratio. So if I go in here and look at the game card, these guys have an aspect ratio fitter that forces them to stay in their shape. So I don't really need, I shouldn't need them to do it here. So we're going to try this again. We're going to click on that. This is player 2. It's like really, look how big that is. What is the deal with this box? It's almost like it's smaller than its size. It's like it's just doing what it wants to be. Oh, check that out. Now it's at least the size I expect it to be. That's interesting. All right, so let's see what happens if I try to resize this to fit this corner now. It's kind of weird. Why is my text not changing? These guys are driving me bonkers, man. Look, it doesn't even, what the heck? Oh, because it's just a button. See how big that is? It's like it thinks it's way big. You can see that little outline, that dotted outline that's making it be something it's not. See, but now it's the right size. I don't know what it did, but it changed. Now the box fits the image. Really weird. Very, 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 very odd. Okay. If I add the aspect ratio fitter, guess I do have to force it. I thought I had it set to be fixed within the. Oh, see it. This is really wonky. This is not the way this is supposed to look. That is so very broken. I don't know why my font, my player. Oh God, shiminy Christmas. All right, so 0.6667, and this is the side A. And I have the aspect ratio on there, but that's only for that. Oh, maybe I don't have it for the card itself. No, that has a fitter as well. All right, I'm gonna have to ask AI's help. Why is it doing that? Does the parent size, I have a prefab that is equipped at the parent panel level. At the parent, is it even? See, the parent game object level with an aspect ratio fitter in Unity. But when I put the prefab into another prefab, it is allowing me to change the dimensions. When you nest a prefab, let's go ahead and let you see what I'm seeing. Let's see, when you nest a prefab with aspect ratio fitter into another prefab, Unity doesn't automatically enforce the aspect ratio unless certain layout conditions are met. The aspect ratio fitter works by adjusting the rect transform based on its parent's constraints, but if the parent prefab allows manual resizing or has conflicted layout components, it can override the fitter's behavior. Parent prefab has a layout group, vertical, horizontal layout group, that override child sizing. Child prefab's rect transform is set to stretch. Child prefab's rect transform is set to stretch or as flexible with height. Aspect ratio fitters mode is set to none or not correctly configured. Okay, well that's not the case. So it's either I have child, I don't have any child prefabs in here, so that's not it. So the parent prefab that overrides childhood. Do I have a layout group in my parent prefab? I didn't think I did, but let's go look. Layout group. Canvas scaler, graphic raycaster, canvas. It's totally screwing up my text on these things because they're all supposed to be resizing dynamically. Obviously not doing that. Thing is, I had that same problem a little bit on my when I was getting it, when I got them set up in my playbook. Status overlay, canvas group. Wait, what is all this? Game card script. Status overlay, canvas group. Playbook indicator. I don't even need the playbook indicator. Hold duration. Game card script. Card image, yes. Text Mesh Pro card name. Text Mesh Pro GUI. That is card image, card name, that's fine. Got the button, yep. Status overlay. I don't know what the status, what is a status overlay? I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Canvas group, player, playbook indicator, and hold duration. That's all fine, but I think I need to add some more. I do have to add some more stuff to the script. I haven't set it up to actually work with players yet. It's set up to be used for plays, but not players. So yeah, there's that. Canvas group. Alpha. Interactable. Blocks raycast. Ignore parent groups. I know I didn't change anything for the game card on that piece. Let's go see what these are set to. What is the percent? It's just B47, no auto size. Am I doing auto size in this stuff? Nope, 47. No auto sizing. I don't see no wrap, overflow, character. Nothing particularly stands out about this from the one that should be working correctly. Oh, wait a minute. Card name. Oh, this is the one. Oh, wait, that's the one supposed to. This is the one that's showing right now. Player info, play info. Oh, let's compare to the actual. I mean, it's probably the same, but I just changed the. Oh, that's using auto size. Maybe I should stop using auto size. Okay, so success rate is not even valid. I got to add some things. All of this crap down here is broken. I don't have, that's not even attached to anything yet. I don't have any, I have plans to put stuff in there. I just don't fully know yet what. so because that's going to be player name up there, which is going to be set to that, and I already have that defined. And then game card 2. So we have card image, card name, which is these guys. And we still have to have, I still have to figure out what status overlay and canvas group are going to be. Don't know what those are. I don't know why I need a canvas group. And playbook indicator, which is not applied to everything, so I've got to have to figure out that one. Have to adjust that. If I'm going to make this card universally usable, I've got to fix some of the callbacks. But I do have button, which is fine. And card button text. There's no text on my card button. All right, so let's finish saving this. Save project. Go back. Oops, nope. Put game team option. So there is still something weird about this thing here. I don't know why. Why is the text resizing? Oh, I think my auto sizing doesn't apply. I have auto sizing. That's right. I've got code that sizes the text. That's right. And this isn't going to happen here. Cuz I'm not usually I build it as I'm putting it in. And I think what I'm going to have to do is let it use auto size just here. And then I'll have to turn it off during actual usage. But in order for this not to look like a mess, I think I have no choice but to turn it on here. What happens if I go ahead and just do auto size on all this stuff? I don't know if it's going to fix anything, but I only care about the top ones anyway. These ones don't actually apply to anything. I don't care if those look like a mess, because I just want to see if these top ones look correct. And then I'll try and see if that actually works for anything.
Connected to active Mind Gamers chat.
And then let's go here. Okay, so we got that. All right, let's go back to my team option. Aha! Fixed it. Well, at least it looks better. It's more readable. This other stuff down here I'll fix later. It gives me an idea, but auto sizing will change it. I don't really expect it to be all that readable right here anyway. I mean, it's going to be hard to read, but you should be able to click it and it'll give you a better view. It's going to pop up and give you the pop out that will let you view the guy in more details, because these guys are going to be pretty small. I'm going to have to figure out how best to make it readable or something, or give some kind of stats that you can actually see on it. It's going to be hard because these are going to be cards, they're going to be tiny, because you're basically going to, it's like you're going to see. So like if you look at this image down here, you got the select your team captains, and while it's going to be like there'll be one team here, one team here, one team here, one team here, and you'll just be able to scroll down on all of them. So maybe I'll just put 4 on here, and then you'll have, I could just put, I don't think 2 will work because it'll be too It'll be too big. I don't want to have. I mean, I guess I could just do one really big. I guess we'll have to see how it goes. Right now, I'm doing two. We'll get a feel for it. I'm worried that this is going to be too big of a box, and it's not going to do what I want it to. For whatever reason, I'm going to go ahead, shader channels. These guys are not the same size. I'm going to go ahead and add, let's go ahead and add the aspect ratio fitter again. I'll say width controls height, fit in parent. Nope, because fit in parent forces it to fit in the parent. That's not going to be. They don't want it to fit in parent. I want it to fit in parent, but I want it to fit the way I want it to fit. I'll say width controls height, or what did I do before? Height controls width. So I can basically do this, and it just shrinks. There we go. That works. And hopefully I can move it now. Back to here. I'll do the same thing here. .666. Oh, I did do height controls width on both of them, right? What happened? Hello. Well, that happened. Height controls width. Those look the same width to you? They don't look the same width, do they? That one's actually a little shorter though. So let's try 275 and 780. Well, 275, 780. Should make this one look the same. Stretch, stretch. 667. 66 height controls width. Height controls width. $275 and
Mick Creates Games says, hello.
hey, Mig Creates Games, how you doing, man? What is the latest with you?
Mick Creates Games says, good, good.
Glad to hear it, man. All right. What do I need? Oh, I'm missing a header. I'm missing a couple of text values here. Team panel. So let's go ahead and add a text mesh pro. Why not? We'll call it the. Let's see. Team salary. What do I want to call it? Text. And we'll just go to TNT. And we'll put a blank nonsense in there for now. We'll say,
Mick Creates Games says, alright, I just finished streaming. I am not sure if you got the raid.
oh, did I? Did you? Raid me? That's cool, man. I normally my thing does show when I get a raid, but let me look on my, if I did, other people say hi. But I don't, normally my thing will pop up and tell me, but I could have it messed up. I mess up my OBS things all the time. So it's quite possible it is showing that it's on, but sometimes it disconnects on its own. So let me see what let's see what it says live on my thing.
Mick Creates Games says, it's alright, you might have some lurkers, lol.
That's all right. I could deal with lurkers. It's always cool to have people come by. I appreciate the attempt, if nothing else. And if you did give me some raid, I appreciate it.
Mick Creates Games says, I just finished a few things on my game.
Oh yeah, what game are you working on? What kind of game?
Mick Creates Games says, you are okay if I share a link. Survival horror game.
Sure, go ahead, man. Share away. Yeah, my Nightbot might yell at you, but it won't block it. You just can't keep posting them, but don't worry about it. Put it up there. But yeah. Well, it says I have something. It says I have 11, which means I must have a few people out there. But I appreciate it. Let's check out your thing then.
For today's update, I made the cave and I added some skulls. These skulls I made myself in Blender.
Nice.
A little bit of noise effect. So we have a little bit of
It's a little
Mick Creates Games says, hey, that is me.
yes. Yes.
Skulls. Here you're gonna make it where you can grab this little. I know it's a little buggy.
So what are you using for your game engine?
And then we'll have a little
Using
rat in there looking at you. I'll make
Godot or Unity?
And here we'll make it where
Mick Creates Games says, Unity 3D and Blender.
And then we can do that for here. I'll make this guy run away too once.
Very cool. Yeah, I am a Unity noob, man.
Like you.
Rat. For today's update, I made the cave and I added some skulls. These skulls I made.
Yeah, I'm a Unity noob. I know nothing. I know nothing, Jon Snow. I've been working on it now to some extent in Unity for about, I would say I started working on it about 6 months ago.
Mick Creates Games says, alright, perfect time to learn some more Unity.
Yes, I started working on it about 6 months ago, but there was about 4 months in the middle there from late June to most of September where I had to go back to the back end and get some stuff ready for the next part of what I wanted to work on. So far what I've gotten, I've gotten working in Unity is my title screen and my map, my maneuvering around in my various pages. I got my playbook and game plan pretty much working. Uh, just navigating a lot of that stuff. I don't have a ton. I got login working, my authentication going, so that's going. But my game, lucky for me, the only 3D part of it is going to be the simulation itself, the game simulations. And again, my game doesn't have. There's no control. It's not like Madden level stuff. You're actually having a simulation, but I'm going to have a game simulation going that the players will play, and that'll be 3D models and stuff working. But beyond that, it's mostly just going to be. I'm going to try to just kind of make it a nice looking a world, and yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to use. There was some things about Godot that just didn't appeal to me, especially since I'm doing 3D models on the. I want to have a decent looking sim or simulation for the game for the actual team play, but most of the managers. See, I'm building a football manager. Don't know if you know that, if you've seen my tags or whatever, but it's a football manager. And most football managers do not have good sims. They have no real simulation at all, other than.
Game says, okay, I was going to ask what genre.
Yes, it's a sports sim for American football. I always have to say American football because so often people think I'm talking about soccer, and it's not. It's not soccer, but I've changed it up because you can't have NFL license, and I said, well, there's plenty of games out there that use bogus humans, right? I mean, they just have generic faced humans, and I said, well, why do that? I can change it up. My game is called Fan 2 TOZ, like A to Z, except it's fantasy football, and it's a manager where you can control your players, your salaries, the whole bit, where you're able to, your roster, your drafting, you're doing all the stuff you would do for a team, except, and then you run your games, and the games will run against other players, other teams, in the league. I'm going to have a lot of other features. I've got some of the stuff that I've got kind of set up. I haven't got. That's what I'm trying to get to now. I want to get my first demo. And the demo is going to be very basic A to Z. That's what I'm working on. The very basic A to Z, which is, for me, A to Z is from create account to running a game. That's what I want. I'm trying to get to that for my first thing. And there's going to be a lot of features and functionality that I'm building out from that. But the first step is create account and get a game to run all the way through, which means that's what I've been doing over the last few weeks is I'm using real life NFL player stats, which I imported into my app. And then I had to, I have code in there that's massaging and creating these statistical skills and abilities out of all of those players based on their stats. And then it generates ratings for all of them based on what their skills are.
Mick creates game says, would that cause some IP issue if you use real players?
Yes, if I use real player names and likenesses, the NFL will probably slap me. Depending on how much money they think they're losing, they'll slap me with a big fine or legal issues, cease and desist. There's a few. There's a lot of NFL games out there that, pro football games out there that do kind of what I'm doing. Well, they'll do stuff where they mangle names or they just use random names, and they just use, because you can use the game mechanics. The one thing nobody can really copyright, protect, patent are game mechanics. That's just the courts at some point in the past said you can't copyright game mechanics. So no matter what their mechanics are, I can copy those. But so I'm doing that. I have full on NFL rules going in my game, and I have all those stats come in. But what all of them, it's not going to be hard to figure out what the teams are and who the players are, because all of my players are keeping their last names, but I'm scrambling up I'm shuffling the first names with all the other players on their team. So it's like, if I was putting in this year's Denver Broncos, for example, Bo Nix might become Cortland Nix, and other players like Cortland Sutton might become RJ Sutton. You know, that kind of thing, where they're going to have the last name and the first name will be different. And since I'm not using likenesses, all my characters are fantasy characters. They're made up of the mascot that makes up the team, that is made from the anagram that I make for every team. So like the Denver Broncos, their anagram is the V-Born Scorned, and the Scorned is their mascot. And so all the players that were drafted they were drafted by the Broncos will be the Scorned. They will be a Scorned character. Now they may not be on the Broncos, they may be with some other team, but that's their character, because every player will be the character that they were of the team they were drafted by. So I had to create anagrams for all 32 teams, and as a result, I have 35 characters.
Mage Creates Games says, have you ever played Monster League for Sega? It has monsters instead of players.
Yeah, there's a few games like that on Steam too. I don't know if it's called Monster League. There's one game I saw on there. I never played it for Sega because I didn't have it, but I never had a Sega. No, I was a Nintendo guy. I think I had a Nintendo. And then we bought Nintendo things always for my kids. I don't think we had our first Xbox or PS3 until my kids were teenagers and they were buying it themselves. we still kind of stick with Nintendo most of the time. But on PC, there is a game on there that somebody changed all the characters to other things, like they're weird. It's an 8-bit game. I don't remember how it plays. I don't know if it's highly rated or not. I don't know what its full function is. But yeah, it's kind of got that same thing where they kind of change up. So there are some games that do some of the things mine is doing, but they're not. Overall, the package of what my game is different from all the other games. Because for one, like I said, simulations rarely have a real game going. In fact, the only game I know that used fully simulated games just went defunct they went out of business last December, and their game went offline in like March or May. And it was actually really cool. And I'm hoping if my game can have a simulation that's close to that, I would be happy. Anything close to that. It was really good. It was called Big Win Football. Now, mind you, that's all their game did. It was one of those. It was on the Android, and it was one of those paywall games where you get a lot of cards and you build up your team and just try to get better and better cards. And there was a lot of complaints about how really good teams would still lose to mediocre teams because they already had all the best cards and their team was so much better than them. And it's like, why were they still losing? Things that make sense. And it's like you didn't have any control of your play calls, or it ran like 4 different plays. It was very generic in the actual mechanics behind that simulation, but the simulation itself was cool. So if I've already designed how I want my simulation to run. I've got all of the back end logic set up. I have a React UI also, where I also have a play editor that lets me create all the plays that will work in my game. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have the play editor available to players, but I'm using it. It's because I think there's going to be a lot of vetting I have to do with every play that gets created to make sure it all functions correctly. But if in time I find it's pretty stable and solid to where I can trust people, hand out plays, I might let the play editor become something I release in the future. But if you were to look at some of my really earliest streams on this game, which I started this in November last year. So it's taken me a while, because when I started, I had never played. I didn't even know Go existed. I didn't know what Go was, Golang. But I had never used Unity or any game engine for that often, because I've never developed games. I've been a developer for 20 plus years, but I've never developed a game. I worked in business and doing stuff in SQL Server and C# and all that, but I was never a game developer. Got laid off a little over a year ago, year and a half, and work's been tough to find, and I finally just said, screw it, I'm going to make a game. So I decided, actually, that's not really what happened. What happened was last October, I started to. I was like, you know what? I was doing some streaming, and I said I'm going to review all these football games. I like football games. I want to find if there's any good ones out there yet. I've heard Madden's not great, but let's see. I want a good game that meets what I want in a game, right? So I downloaded all the Android games, tried out as many of the free or free-ish games that were available for PC and the web, and because not all of them are on Steam, and because I'm not big on the play. I like games that let you simulate. For some reason, I like the idea of being able to manage a game, build a team. But some of them get really deep into the weeds, like Front Office Football 9 gets way into the weeds. I was like, oh man, it's like a deer in the headlights. You just got pages and pages of numbers and stats and stuff that you're like, why do I need this? And then there's other games like Retro Bowl kind of tries to give you a tiny taste of it on the PC or on the phone. A tiny taste of management, but it's very little, very basic. So it's just like the gambit is either they're on the game side or they're on the management side, but nobody tries to actually be good at giving you a good game experience and give you backside. But those that do give you a lot of backside meat, which, you know, the management and the rosters and the training and all that stuff, those that give you a lot of it, they give you too much of it. It's just tabs and buttons all over the place. It's pages and pages of stuff. And some people like that, but that's too much. I want my game to be able to have an entertaining simulation with enough meat that, let's say, here's my baseline. I want adults to have fun playing it, but I want that sports fan 13-year-old to be able to play it. I say 13. That's kind of the age line, you know, but there's smart young kids that might. But if a kid likes it, I don't want them to be like looking at it going, this is just a bunch of numbers, you know. So that's what I'm going for. I'm going for that middle of the road, best of both worlds kind of thing. Not too much of either side. So I'm going to be smack dab in the middle where none of those games are. And I've developed I got a couple of features in there I'm really psyched about. One of them is the streamer games, which actually lets you lets a streamer. I actually got this working already, the pairings, and now I'm gonna, once I get these team generations going, I created a function that generates leagues and teams. Now I'm building the part where users can actually get their own team. And then on the React side, I created a setup that lets you actually create your streamer game. You just go click streamer game. It'll automatically wait for a pairing, and your viewers can use a URL connection. Really, all it is you creating a command. Like if you're using a Nightbot or something, it'll let them type in team and put in their team ID or their user ID, and it'll go and insert a team for them. And then they can even insert themselves as a player. All kinds of cool features that I've already designed and lined up, and I'm looking forward to having that. So basically, you could have this thing running in the corner or down at the bottom or whatever, and while you're doing whatever, the game will simulate itself, but it'll also take responses from the viewers where they can actually inject themselves into the game, and it'll show. And if they're injected into the game, it'll give them stats on how they're doing every now and then. It'll show, hey, so-and-so's got, 5 passes and 2 completions or something like that. Just kind of stuff that'll show as part of the streamer service. It's really easy to do. It was easy to get. Well, it wasn't that easy, but I got the connection working. So now it's just a matter of making all the simulation give feedback back, just like it's running any other sim. And it's because all my games run on the back end, anybody can watch any game if they have the connection to it. So you can watch any game. So you could, if your league is running a game and you want to see how your competition is doing, you could theoretically click on their game and watch it played, because they all run at a schedule. They have to, because when you're running with other people, you have to give everybody time. So I'm going to have everybody run on a schedule. And that also, unlike other games, a lot of these other games don't allow you to have multiple teams in the same account or in the same game session, So you can actually buy other teams and run 2 or 3 teams if you want. They wouldn't be in the same league, but they'd be other leagues. And since you're collecting players, that can gain certain visual benefits, you'll be able to have that come in and actually fill up your players, even if they're on multiple teams. I got this whole setup for how collections are going to work, but again, that's all down the road stuff. That's once I get this part working. So I got to finish figuring that out. So this is just me setting up the team selection. So I have to get all of the parts and pieces into getting this working. So we're going to say here, I wonder if I should just, yeah. Is there a header? Do these things have headers on them? Guess not. And we'll just say salary. Team salary. I guess I could just append it, but sometimes appending might just be cheaper. This one's just going to say team salary. See, what else do I need? I probably need to put those. Probably going to need more information. This isn't very well laid out, but I'm not real worried about layout. Mostly right now, I just want to get it all. Oh, come on, really? Working. If I can get all the pieces in place, just why does it do that? I don't understand why this is way off in Timbuktu. I may be misunderstanding something on how this thing works. I don't know how to reshape this outer dimension. That's what's throwing me off. Because this outer dimension is huge. I wonder if I should be forcing myself to fit in the outer dimension. It's like it's always square. Oh, is it outer dimension in relation to the... Oh, it's outer dimension in relation to the... Interesting. It's outer dimension in relation to my device. That's why I can't resize it. Huh. That's interesting. So if I change this, interesting. So what happens when I do that? Ooh, things get all broken. That's because I'm not putting them in relative. That's why I created a relative positioning. Forces things to stay inside of their parent. Which kind of is, I may have to turn it back on. Oh, let's change that. I wonder if I should, it's going to be so weird trying to get this to lay out correctly. Unity's weird. That's all I got to say. Unity's got some weird bumps and bruises here. Give me hiccups. All right, so we got my, what else do I need? I have their salary, the team, what else do we have? I feel like there's more I need to put on there. I don't know what else though at the moment in my head. I feel like there's more, but you know what? I probably don't need to worry about it right now. And I know there's some other values I can always add, but let's see what happens when I actually try to implement this. I know it's going to look like a mess, but at least if I can get it to load, that would be awesome. Then you can figure out layout in a minute. So let's go ahead and Control S this, or File, Save, Project. All right, so in that, this is called Team Option Summary. And the whole thing, oh, that's right, I got to make it a button. I need a button. Insert UI button. UI insert button. And we'll call it select team. And then dash okay. Now, I think I also don't, do I not have the large card? Team name. Oh, I don't think I made the large card a prefab. Shoot. I created a player card that I think I might want to add. Do I add it to the prefab though, or do I add it? Or do I just go ahead and call it? Because if I add it to the prefab, every time the card is clicked, it'll work automatically. And that might be best. Because I have a functionality that zooms in or creates a zoom for the card. And that is like my playbook here. Content panel. And that's my zoom panel. But I wonder if it would be better to add my zoom panel to the prefab, and then every time a card is clicked, it'll zoom in. That would be, I think that's better. I don't know how much I'll break if I do that though. So if we resize. I ask a question first. Let's ask AI a question. It's not AI. Hey AI, quick question for you, man. All right, it's 10:30. I'm gonna have to call it shortly. It's Friday and I got to get my buns up out of bed early so I can do this all tomorrow again. Luckily, I don't usually DoorDash on Fridays. I take Friday off from door dashing so I can have more time to work since it's my last day of the week. So what I want to do, question. We'll just say question. I don't know why it's always a question here, right? So if my blah, 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 if I place a zoom panel in my player card prefab, so that or not player card, my game card prefab, so that anytime a card is clicked, no matter where the game card prefab is displayed in the game, or let's say displayed / loaded in the game, if the raycast is not blocked or off, the card can be zoomed. The card zoom panel can be displayed. Screen size, allowing user to view card details. Will this work, or will it just zoom within the confines of the prefab it is contained in? Thus, if the prefab is small, the zoom will be at max the size of that small prefab. It says I'm thinking like a system architect. If your zoom panel is a child of the game card prefab, then yes, the layout and size will be constrained by the game card's rect transform hierarchy. That means if the game card is small, the zoom panel will never exceed that size, even if you try to scale it up. Aha, so that won't work. I was thinking about keeping it with the card, but it doesn't work that way. To make the zoom panel display full screen regardless of whether the game card is where the game card is used, keep the zoom panel outside the game card prefab. Place it in a global UI canvas, UI root zoom panel that spans the full screen set. Okay. Trigger it from the game card. On click, the game card prefab should send a signal or event, blah, 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 to activate and populate the zoom panel. Pass the game card, image stats, etc. to the zoom panel to render. So I could just create a zoom panel that is its own thing, and then just everywhere I have the panel, the cards, it can just reference the zoom panel. I think that works. So I think that's what it's saying. If I'm understanding that correctly, I would leave it here, but not necessarily in the full scroll. I could actually just stick it in the parent object. And when it says the zoom panel still be the same, it would still go wherever. But I would just take it out of there. And let's do that. Let's see if that works. We'll see if I break anything by doing this. We'll just plop it out here. And we will still have this guy get the zoom panel from that location. So it's still the zoom panel, it's still here. But now, hopefully, whatever's calling that zoom panel. So I need to add probably to this the zoom panel as well. So that's the Playbook UI Manager. I'll need to create a script that's for the team option selector manager. I'll create a team object selector manager that allows you to put that in. It's also going to be all the things that I have to load and all the crap that goes in it. But I'll put that onto the prefab, which will then load up into this guy, which I can't see right now because I don't have them turned on. Yeah, I think I'm close. Okay, so it's late. It's 10:34. I got to call it before I get myself caught up in something that keeps me up till 1 o'clock in the morning. So until next time, thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it. Miscreates Games, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the attempt at the raid. That's always appreciated as well.